Am I the only one that didn't know how deep the roots of racial injustice go in our legal system? I'm Aisha, a law student at, Emory University. I always thought I understood our legal system, but, well, it wasn't until I started digging into its history that I realized it all began when I was sitting in on a trial. I couldn't help but notice something unsettling. The defendants, they were overwhelmingly people of color. It felt wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on why. I mean, we're taught that justice is blind, right? That everyone's equal under the law. But what I was seeing, it didn't add up. That's when I stumbled upon a book in the law library, Jim Crow and the Roots of Mass Incarceration, it was called. Jim Crow wasn't just a set of laws, it was a whole system designed to keep Black people in their place after slavery ended. Separate schools, separate neighborhoods, separate everything. But it went deeper than that. It was a system that touched every aspect of life. Jim Crow laws made it legal to discriminate. They made it okay to treat Black people as less than human. And the justice system, it was at the heart of enforcing these unjust laws. Black people could be arrested for the smallest infractions: loitering, vagrancy, even looking at a white person the wrong way. These laws were tools of control and oppression. And once they were in the system, it was nearly impossible to get out. It created a cycle of incarceration that devastated Black communities. As I read, I felt like I was falling through time. The segregation, the unfair laws, the biased enforcement, it all started to connect. The past wasn't as far away as I thought. I dove deeper into the history, tracing the evolution of laws and policies from the Jim Crow era to today. The more I learned, the more connections I saw between past injustices and current inequalities. I started seeing echoes of Jim Crow everywhere in our current system. The war on drugs, for example. Did you know it disproportionately targets communities of color? Or how about mandatory minimum sentences? They often hit Black defendants harder than white ones. The tactics may have changed, but the impact remains disturbingly similar. And then there's the school-to-prison pipeline. It's like Jim Crow found a new way to segregate and control. The methods have evolved, but the underlying biases persist. Suddenly, those courtroom scenes I'd witnessed, they took on a whole new meaning. It wasn't just coincidence. It was the echo of Jim Crow, still reverberating through our justice system. The more I uncovered, the more I realized how deeply rooted these issues were. It wasn't just about individual bias or a few bad actors. The entire system had been shaped by centuries of discrimination and inequality. Understanding this history is crucial, because to change the future, we need to confront the past, and that's exactly what I intend to do. The more I learned, the more I saw how these old laws had shaped our current system. It was like uncovering a hidden history, one that explained so much about what I was seeing in the present. I realized then that to truly understand law, to truly fight for justice, we have to confront this history. We have to recognize its ongoing impact. We can't just say, that was then, this is now, because then is still shaping now. We need to look at our laws, our practices, our entire system with new eyes. We need to ask ourselves, are we really providing equal justice under the law? Or are we still carrying the weight of Jim Crow, even if we don't realize it? It's not an easy question to answer. It's not comfortable to think about. But if we want a truly just system, we have to be willing to face these hard truths. We have to be willing to change, to dismantle the parts of our system that still reflect those old, unjust laws. It's a big task. Sometimes it feels overwhelming. But every time I step into a courtroom now, I remember what I've learned. I see the echoes of the past, but I also see the potential for change. And I know that as a future lawyer, I have a responsibility to understand this history, to recognize its impact, and to work towards a truly equitable system of justice. Because only then can we hope to build a truly fair and equitable system for all. It won't be easy. It won't happen overnight. but it's a fight worth fighting. For every person who's faced an unjust system, for every community that's been over-policed and underprotected, we owe it to them to do better, to be better. And it starts with understanding, with facing our history no matter how uncomfortable it might be. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with my latest videos.